Again, and I am reporting live again on early voting day, actually the last voting day in Florida until election day, day after tomorrow. One point I want to address today that I did not talk about yesterday, why it's so important to elect the Democratic Party and vote out the MAGA Republican Party, is education. The current conservative Republican Party is pushing an agenda to diminish education and try to make it appear as it's indoctrination, or if it's woke, or if it's communist. All these wild ideas trying to undermine education. We have people like Governor Ron DeSantis, who says things like, you don't need to go to a university, you don't need to go to college, you can go to a trade school and make good money. So it's something that trying to get people to become worker bees and not people that can think critically, be engineers, doctors, physicians, lawyers, people that are highly educated that can bring the country up. And that's, if I want to compare it, we can compare it to even China, where they highlight education to the top and they want people to exceed. They don't mix politics with the school system or the education system because they want people to excel and become great. One example that you can see is for when you see Asian kids in America, they excel in school, they do great. And if you check the numbers, they do even better than Caucasian Americans, Hispanics, or black, or any ethnic or racial group in America. And people that want to say, oh, that's Chinese, that's communist. Also Japan, also South Korea, and several other countries, even in Europe, they promote education, they promote people going to college and advancing, becoming more educated. Here, they're diminishing education. They're saying that it's woke, that is negative, that is bad. And all you have to look at is at the public education system in the USA, how bad it is if you compare it to other countries, even sometimes third world countries where the education is really bad. We have, for example, in China or in Japan or South America, the elementary, middle school and high schools are great. And we're talking public education. We're not talking about private school. It may surprise you, but in Asian countries like Japan or China, public education is much, much better, excels higher than private schools, which is the reverse in the USA, where we have private schools that are better in education than private schooling. Public education. The reason public education is awful is because of the way it's managed here. And because the Republican Party and conservatives want to cut the budget, they want to cut education. Their excuse is, oh, they are not doing very good in the school districts. They're not doing good in the schools all over the US. We need to cut their budget because they're not doing their job right. And when you cut the budget, you hurt the education system. Lack of funds, lower pay. So overall, it hurts the education system in the United States and the public sector. So that is something that is a worse attitude towards improving education in the USA compared to countries, as I mentioned, in Europe or in Asia, like Japan or Germany or England or China, where you can see elementary school, middle school, high school are top. If you live in China and you are a C or a D student, they kick you out of the public schools and you have to go to a private school. Here in the US is the reverse. You can get a D, you can get even an F, and sometimes they pass you. They give you a degree even though you did not excel. And I have worked as a teacher in the USA, in Texas and Florida, and I have seen it firsthand how students are passed even if they don't excel, just to match the rankings keep up with the testing, and make the school district or the education system look good while the students are going down. That's not the way it's done in other countries, and that's why we are hurting. And the people pushing that horrible agenda is the conservative Republican Party, pushing for you to become a plumber, a construction worker, a technician. They don't want you to excel and become an astronaut or an engineer or somebody who can really develop and grow the nation. That is something that people need to think about. And a side point on that is immigration. We have the dreamers who are part of the program, who came here as children, undocumented, and the program, the DREAM Act, is for people that excel. But the Republican Party and the conservatives are saying that dreamers or kids that go to school should be deported because they're here illegally, because they're criminals. And people don't know this. For you to be part of the DREAM program, the DREAM Act, to be a dreamer in the US, you cannot have a criminal record. You have to do good in school. So for you to become part of that program that was started by President Obama, you have to prove that you excel. If you are not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not going to get the benefits of the DREAM Act to be able to obtain a residency and a citizenship. The other thing that they're not aware of is that by recruiting these students that are good, who came from other countries, yes, illegally, as children, to no fault of their own, recruiting those children who are smart and productive and beneficial for the USA, by keeping them, we're allowing the US to grow and keep people that have good mind thinking skills that can help the US grow. So people don't seem to recognize that. But there's a little bit of hypocrisy in that, because the I'm going to take that back. Not the Republicans, the American government recruited Nazis after the World War II to bring them to the USA to help the USA grow. To bring people to NASA who were German Nazi engineers, or physicians, doctors who were part of the Nazi regime in Germany. They brought those people here and ignored their crimes, but they did it because they saw the benefit of having their brains benefit the USA. But now, in the current time, they want to say, no, dreamers are bad, kick them all out. It seems counterproductive, don't you think? Anyway, that's a thought for you today. And make sure you vote. Let's vote for the American democracy. Let's keep democracy safe in the USA. Let's save democracy and not elect people that are trying to really destroy America and its values and twist it around to make it appear like the people trying to do the right thing are woke or bad or evil or communist. Vote today.